Hey Froggy friends, Kirostyle here, welcome back to Silent Hill F. Thank you so much for watching this video. So, we've already completed the game, and now we're going to go through the Digital Deluxe Artbook and soundtrack. So you get this if you get the Deluxe version of the game, or if you do a Digital Deluxe Upgrade option. And I'm really excited because I actually really like the art direction of this game. So we've already completed the game, so there will be spoilers, and I'll try not to talk about too many big spoilers, but I probably might mention a few things here or there. First of all, this background, really cool. You can see in the corner here behind my Vtuber model, Hinako, you see the world differently than others. So, even though we only got one ending of the game, I did go and read up and watch some of the other endings, and they're kind of interesting. They also change up the last section of the game, including some of the enemies that you fight. Again, I don't think I'm gonna have time to go back and play through this game again multiple times to get different endings. I might do it in the future, but I won't say for certain, so I won't discount it completely. But you do get a little bit more of the story if you go through the other endings, I will say. So, if you're interested, I would recommend you go either play it for yourself or watch someone else do the other endings if you want the full context of the story. So, let's start with the art book. So there's characters, monsters, and environment. So here's the characters. So of course we have the different outfits for Hinako. I think it's a shame that they didn't have completely different outfits for her. They're mostly just recolors of her school outfit, but at the same time I understand why. And I think it does add to the aesthetic of the game if she's wearing the right thing. I do appreciate someone pointed out that if you get the pink outfit, which is the Digital Deluxe outfit, with the bunny ears, during some cutscenes, the bunny ears do come off so they don't clip through the environment. Like the cutscene where she wakes up and her head is in Shu's lap. If she was wearing her bunny ears, the ears would be clipping through Shu's body. So instead, during that cutscene, the bunny ears are actually lying on the ground next to her in the shot, which is kind of neat. Ooh, Fox Mask. He had a lot of very interesting details, especially all the little decals, all the little bits of jewelry. You find out more about him on your subsequent playthroughs, so I'm not going to talk too much about him, but it is kind of interesting. I've been seeing so much fan art of this guy. Fan art making him look very Ikemen, and also fan art making him look kind of cool, and also fan art making him look like an uwu waifu. It's interesting because of course the game's kind of pointing you in the direction of showing you, this relationship is not perfect, might be a bit toxic, and then everyone's like, ooh, I'm gonna draw ship art of these two and make this guy look super ideal. I mean, that's what you get when you make someone look super handsome in the game, right? Compared to everyone else. So it's to be expected, I guess. Cool design though. Oh. These characters look so different in this 2D artwork compared to their 3D models. I quite like it, actually. It gives them a completely different feel, yet you can tell it's them. Their facial features still match, but it's a little different. I've seen a lot of people really hating on Rinko, and I totally get it, because she is very antagonistic towards your main character. But at the same time, I can't really bring myself to completely hate her. Maybe it's just because I understand that, well, she's like a 16-year-old girl. She's in love with a boy. She's jealous because the boy likes her friend. Jealousy is an ugly emotion, so I'm not saying she's a perfect person, but I can understand, why she might behave that way. Plus, I think my knowledge of Silent Hill and Ryukishi's writing is you can't take things at face value. A lot of things that she was saying or things we saw in the game might have been distortions or things from Hinako's perspective or in her mind. Because we did see little hints of Rinko and what she might be like normally, as a student council president and whatnot, and how she used to be closer with Hinako and used to be a good friend to her. Plus, I see a lot of people, they're kind of completely forgetting that Shu is also kind of at fault here, too. If you consider the fact that he's been giving Hinako these red pills with the intention of kind of distorting her view. And you do see more of Shu in some of the other endings, so I will leave it at that, but I can't bring myself to completely hate Rinko. I feel like she feels like a more realistic character because of those negative emotions like jealousy that she has. And again, we play through Umineko on this channel, and the way that Ryukishi writes characters, especially female characters, they could be very multifaceted. One second you could be hating their guts, and another second you could be feeling really sorry for them. So we have Fox Hinako here. This transformation was quite gruesome, and really added to the horror of the game. I just can't get over how furry that fox arm is. Like, I keep calling it a werewolf arm because it looks more like a werewolf arm. And then like the brand on the back and the way the mask is like melded to her face. Good horror stuff. Although this is where I can see people saying that maybe this game didn't feel as much of a Silent Hill game to them. Oh. More of her transformation. This is such good art. Big shout out to Kara, the character artist of this game. Wait, there's a golf club there. Was there a golf club weapon? I'm pretty sure there wasn't. That would have been awesome, though. A golf club would have been a great weapon. Oh, and Rinko. Or not Rinko, Junko. I keep getting confused because all their names end in Ko. She had an interesting mask design as well. And the way that it looks like her head is like sewn onto her body. And of course the design on the fabric at the bottom is very nice. Oh, this is like a young Hinako. I don't think that's a younger Shu. I think that's a younger Kotoyuki. Remember we saw in the flashback at the playground? Kotoyuki was not mentioned too much during our playthrough, only briefly at the end, but again, if you do subsequent playthroughs, you'll get more out of that. And for the sake of spoilers, I won't tell you too much more about that, but you can look it up yourself if you're very curious. Kotoyuki. I love this art style. Like, it's very elegant. It's like, it has a bit of realism to it. Like, it still has like anime aesthetic, but it's still like more towards like realism. It's kind of that spot in between where, you know, someone could look at it and not be like immediately like, ooh, it's anime. Like, you can kind of feel that it's got that realism touch to it, which I think is kind of difficult to have that stylized line between the two. But I really like it. I really respect people that can draw like this. So here's an animal close-ups. That's kind of cool. People that can draw animals too. It's quite challenging. Of course, it's like a completely other type of anatomy to study. Oh. So this is an older Kotoyuki. Very handsome face there on the right. The way they colored the hair as well. Again, it's like that realism with the anime mixed together, and I really like it. And the painterly brushstrokes. And this is the mom and the dad. Different hairstyles. Presumably these are for Hinako. I think it would have been cool if she had different hairstyles you could pick through. But I think her hairstyle did fit her. This music is so perfect too. It's beautiful but haunting. Okay, Shoot did not look this good in the game. Maybe this is what Rinko saw in him. Speaking of which, I really like Hinako's drawings in her sketchbook, too. Ooh. Again, like, look at all these beautiful painterly brushstrokes. Oh, so this is the box art on the deluxe version of the game. I read some of the developer interviews. They were trying to go for something grotesque, but not like completely grotesque, that it would like completely turn people away. They wanted it to look like organs, but without actually having like a accurate like face slice like you'd see in like Mortal Kombat, for example. But the trypophobia really gets you, I think. Ah yes, this iconic art. This one's really good. So much detail in that background. The way the tentacle arms are reaching out towards her. That look in her face, in her eyes. Again, I've seen so much fan art of Hinako being like the most badass Silent Hill protagonist in the entire series, showing everyone else up, beating up everyone with her pipe. So these are the fox ladies. Also very creepy masks. Some crests. I love like whenever they do like traditional Japanese elements like this, and they have like the crests. Like I see it a lot in like Sengoku Basara, for example. And there's like so much symbolism and like references and stuff weaved into these things. Things that I may not be completely privy to because I'm not an expert on Japanese history and symbolism, but I really appreciate it. Well, so now we're getting into some enemy designs. I think these dolls were a good spin on like the usual mannequins we find in Silent Hill. Definitely has more of the like the Japanese aesthetic to it, but it's still very much the same as the mannequins from before. Again, the face slice, grotesque, without going overboard. Ooh, this is a really interesting artwork of this enemy. This enemy was interesting. It's funny how they would just sometimes stand around and let you beat up on them. I didn't realize there was a male and a female version of it, unless these are just concept art and they only had one of them in the final game. The way that the heads are all melded together and some of them have like boils and flowers growing out of them. Again, grotesque without going overboard, I think. And still keeping with the aesthetic of the game. Oh, these are some cool ones. I wish we saw some of these. Again, I think it's a new spin on having like the so-called like zombie enemies that you'll see in like Resident Evil, for example. Something a little bit different, but also the same. You just look at the way that arm is hanging there while being like choked out by the vines. Or the way that those things are growing out of all their eyes. Or stretching out their necks. Oh, this guy. This guy that kept trying to lick me. I like the way that the plant life tentacles are growing out of his head. It is very striking. Oh, he's got like the bulbous belly too. Oh, there's more of him. This is him with more growth, I guess. And more HP. Oh, look at his tongue. Look at the way the tongue ends. I think this is the same enemy, but if he's standing up, because we didn't see this type of enemy specifically in the game, but we saw some similar stuff. Again, it would have been nicer if they had more enemy types in the game, I think, instead of... And even the enemy types they did have, a lot of them share the same rig or the same motions. Oh, this thing. Again, this thing was kind of cool, but it's a little bit too similar to the other enemy in terms of like the way it moves and attacks. But I do like it. I like how on the back it looks like a spine. That's kind of cool, with like a rib cage. It really does look like something from Alice Madness Returns. It would not be out of place in that world. More of this like growth stuff. Look at all the limbs growing out of it. It's so like grotesquely beautiful, especially with the way it's being rendered with the brushstrokes. Ooh, this is cool. Ninetales. Again, the way the fur is rendered with the brushstrokes is just, I can't not admire it. Oh, there's another version of it. Like the blood and the plant growth, the rot. Oh, and there's even more. That's cool. The way you can kind of see, like, flesh, muscle, tissue, stuff like that inside it. Oh, and then there's another version of it. Black and white with a little bit of blue. I kind of wish we saw more of this thing in the game. There's a lot of concept art for it. I mean, we saw lots of paintings of it. Like, I'm assuming this is Inari-sama, right? Oh, this monster. Why is it that so much like classical mythology also has like female goddesses that have so many like breasts? Like we saw a lot of that in Shin Megami Tensei, but those designs are also inspired sometimes by like the actual traditional depictions of some of those goddesses, which depicts them with a lot of breasts and stuff. Obviously here it's like a symbolism thing. This thing was so gross. I remember the first time we fought it and I was like, oh, it's a boss fight, and then we open up our monster book afterwards and it's like, oh, it's listed as a normal monster. Well, that's great. And we had to fight so many more of it near the end. Actually, if you look at the bottom right version of it, it reminds me of the huddle from Inside. The one on the bottom left is just a big head. That's interesting. See, it would have been cool if these were like alternate versions of that same monster that we encountered. The top left one's very interesting too. It's like two beings fused into one. Oh, that's cool. Like the way that there's multiple like eye mask things hanging from its face. Again, would have been cool to actually have this in the game. And the way the clothes are like burning off. That's another reason why I also kind of feel bad for Rinko, is because we actually, like, in the other world, we like just burn her alive, right? See, the bosses in this game were interesting, but only really Sakako and Rinko had real bosses, because the mother and the father were just normal enemies, reskinned a little bit. Cool design, but I also feel like the part leading up to the fight with Sakako didn't really talk too much about Sakako. We found more about her afterwards in the next section. After we had already fought her. But like the hole through her chest was also kind of a cool thing, and like her big mouth. And same with Rinko. Like we fought her after the section where we transformed. I think it would have made more sense if we fought her after we dunked her into the lava. Like, I feel like maybe if we gone through Sakako's section where we lock her in the darkness, and then we fight her, and then we go through the Rinko section where we dunk her in the lava, and then we fight her, I think would have made more sense to me. But these were really the only two, besides the final boss, these two were really the only bosses in the game. Oh, this thing. Again, this thing kind of uses a similar rig to the regular mannequin enemy, but a little bit different. These things are annoying. They would like drop from the ceiling on you, or like surprise you that way. Surprisingly fast too, especially when they gang up on you. The way that the tendrils on the face kind of start reaching outwards though, and make hair, that's pretty cool. I think the scarecrows were super clever. I think it was nice that they didn't overuse them, because the only time we really saw them after the Scarecrow section was in the school. But I think like this was a really good use of like a scare, right? Because you don't know when it's gonna come to life. You're trying to do the puzzle at the same time. You're like trying not to fight them to save up your resources and then skirt around them, and then they start coming at you. I think the Scarecrow section, even though I didn't like doing that puzzle, it was a really good from a horror standpoint. They don't have like pictures of the other Scarecrows. There were other versions of the Scarecrow. This enemy was kind of cool too. The way you kind of see it in bits throughout the game, and then you finally come to terms with what it is, and it finally hits you. I think it was a little bit too easy of a fight, though. It just had a lot of HP, really. But again, the whole, like, wedding attire, like the allegory to, like, womanhood and wedding, the way her face is, like, cut off. It's not like a completely organ-accurate, human anatomy-accurate facial slice. It's a little bit stylized to make it grotesque, but not overdone. Fallen enemy. Oh, this big guy. This big guy was kind of cool. I'm glad they didn't overuse him. Look at those cherry blossoms on the back and the way the leaves and the branches come out. Kara, you are an amazing artist. I'd like to see what other works Kara has been involved in, if this is their standard of work. More views of this thing. You know, the first time you encounter it, you're not really supposed to fight it, you're supposed to just run away from it, but it's probably possible to kill it. It just probably would take a lot of resources that you probably don't want to spend that early in the game. Same with the first time you encounter the blind man. Oh, and this was like the taiko drum enemy, which, again, similar to the previous enemy in terms of rigging, but a few different attacks. This one, we started seeing so many of him at the end of the game. Oh, and this one's the father version of it. Again, it's similar but different. The transformation sequence in the corner there is pretty cool, though. I was talking with Vice on his stream, Vice Kurosaki, on one of his art streams, and he was saying that he was watching me playing Silent Hill F and tried recreating some of the pictures, so he drew like a little chibi of Hinako getting like attacked by the four-legged blind man, except he drew him looking like a frog because he was like licking her and she was just making like this like cute like face. And then he tried to draw this father enemy, and he basically just drew him as a big lump with like the general silhouette, and then gave him a big like smiley face. It was very cute. Vice is so funny. I'm so glad that we've become friends. And then he drew pictures of Kiro like with his axe going like, hi, because I say that a lot when an enemy pops out at me. Hi! And then the mother enemy. She was kind of different. I don't think... There weren't really any enemies in the game that shared her rig, even though she was just a normal standing person with a knife. Again, Vice tried to draw a picture of the scene where the mother and the father are about to confront you. It was so funny. What is this thing? This might be... This is too detailed to be an enemy they didn't use in the game. This might be one of the bosses you fight on the other endings, because I know that the final boss changes depending on which ending you play. So this must be one of the other bosses. That's kind of cool. Again, it's a shame that you have to go through the game at least more than once to get the other endings. I wish it was possible to get some other endings on your first run. Kind of like Silent Hill 2. Like, I'm totally fine with some endings being locked to New Game Plus, but I just wish that other ones are available on your first playthrough. The different weapons there in the corner. And the different ways that the arms are decorated. Oh, there's a doll. This is a cool enemy design. More of it. I love seeing like the boss turnarounds, like the different sides of them. Oh, now we get to some environmental art. Again, the environments in this game were really beautiful, despite being like dilapidated old buildings, right? They apparently did a lot of research. Because again, Ebisugaoka is not a real place, but they based it on a real place, so they went and did some research, and then had to like figure out what it would have looked like in the 1960s aesthetic, going back in time. These paintings are so detailed. Again, massive props to people that can paint backgrounds. These are great, like, environmental settings to kind of put yourself in the mind of what the game's going to look like when you're starting off. And the thing is, even though all these locations look, like, unspecified, I'm like, I remember this location, I remember this location. Just due to their combination of unique features, even though they're all, like, similar aesthetically. I was afraid that spending so much of the time of the game in the same town would get boring after a while, but it didn't. I think they kept it fresh without feeling like they were trying to make completely different locales each time, or each section of the town. Ooh, look at that. The way the red takes over the town. Again, it's like grotesque, but elegantly beautiful. I think that was one of their goals, if I remember from one of the interviews. Like, they wanted, like, to find, like, the grotesque in the beauty, or the beauty in the grotesque. I was surprised how big the section was in her house. Well, this is like near the end of the game. That part was getting stressful. I was so afraid I was gonna run out of weapons. Again, it's starting to turn to like Alice Madness Returns looking, or even like some areas from Clair Obscur. The amount of detail in some of those locations that, like, inside some of the rooms, even though knowing the player, you'll probably take a glance at it and leave the room, so you don't even get to see some of that stuff. The Dark Shrine was an interesting place too. I was afraid that it would also get repetitive, but I think each section was kind of different enough. And of course, in the town, they also had, like, the rice field area, they had, like, the forest area, the mountain area, but they all still felt like they were part of the town. Oh yes, this area. So many clippable moments here when the thing was chasing me. It almost kind of looks like a coral reef. This part was cool, seeing all the fox eyes in the background lighting up and looking at you. Look at the way she's standing with her sword. I didn't have a sword during that section. I had an axe and a pipe. This also gives me, like, Demon Slayer vibes too, obviously, because it's like a similar idea in areas like this. Oh, the way that all the bodies are hanging differently here. This is a cool shot. Get that Dutch angle in. Love Dutch angles. The lighting. The way the hallway just kept repeating, like, PT style. And there were like different variations of the same hallway. And imagine if we really did get PT, that would have been cool. I'm glad we were able to play PT on the channel though. I'm so glad I didn't delete it from my PS4. So we could actually play it. Because it is like lost media at this point. The soundtrack is so atmospheric in this game too. See, like, look at all the items scattered around the room that most people probably wouldn't even stop to look at and notice. I noticed that unlike James Sunderland, you also didn't have to shove your hand into toilets or bathtubs or holes in the wall as much in this game. Would have been cool if an enemy came out from that bath though, or if you had to reach into it to get something. There's so much environmental storytelling. This thing was creepy. The fact that she barely even like acknowledges its existence. She just comes in and is like, oh, I should leave. This would have been interesting, like, as maybe like a boss encounter or like an escape sequence. We have to run away from it or something. She like barely acknowledges it. Creepy childhood drawings on the walls, always good for a horror game. So apparently there's more stuff you could do at the shrine and stuff on the second playthrough. Like there's items and options and cutscenes that are not available on the first playthrough involving the shrine. These are so beautiful. They just look at all those brush strokes and stuff. The composition, the lighting. Ooh, this is a cool shot. That's like the sacred tree. I didn't really get a good look at the whole tree from top to bottom like that. Again, this tree is also used in New Game Plus more. We did get an achievement for going to it though. I think it's so fascinating when they do like a more historical setting and they have to do a whole bunch of research to really see what it was like, what it would have looked like back then. I love that kind of stuff. Whether it's for video games or movies. Wonder if the far-flung future, you know, obviously things would look different than they are now. And people will go back to look at what it looked like now and use like our current setting as a horror setting, for example, and needing to go back and look at historical pictures to figure out what the world looked like in 2025. in the far-flung future. Oh, did we already go through the entire soundtrack? Because it's repeating now. I think there's more than one version of the song, though. Like, I think the one played at the beginning of the game is slightly different than the one playing during the ending. There's so many environmental paintings, which is great, because the environment is such a big part of this game. I think the school was a good setting. A lot of, like, walking back and forth, but the area wasn't too big. Like, it wasn't like the hospital in Silent Hill 2, which was huge. Whoa, so many dolls. Like, someone had to sit here and paint every single one of these into this picture and make them look similar but different from each other, so they're not exactly the same copy-paste. Ooh, those lanterns are pretty. Oh. There's your red truth raining down. You know, it'd be kind of cool if, like, I know he probably didn't because of, like, IP and stuff like that too. It would have been cool if somehow the world of Silent Hill F was related to the games between, like, Burn and Castell and Lambda Delta. I could totally see it happening too. I remember this area. I was so low on items. See, I was surprised that Dai and Xaki did music in this game, but hearing tracks like this, it totally makes sense. This definitely sounds like Xaki's style. Ooh. I don't remember hearing the song in the game. Maybe it plays during the other endings. That's cool imagery, that tree. All the Emmas that we had to go around collecting. It was interesting that we had a couple sections of the game where we had to do a puzzle while being chased by an enemy. Because usually in other games like Resident Evil and Silent Hills, we find, like, you're either doing a puzzle or you're doing combat and getting chased. Not usually at the same time. Although there are only really like 2 or 3 sections like that in the game. Oh, look at the way the fog enshrouds things. You can see the silhouettes of things in the background. the reflections on the water, or the way the gates repeat. The way that you can see the brush strokes. Oh, that's so good. Oh, they really do have paintings of, like, so many areas of the game. Like, it wasn't just 1 or 2 paintings per section. It was like they painted out, like, a lot of sections for each part of the game to really get down what it looked like. And then you need the 3D models afterwards to capture the concept art. It really takes so many people to make a game like this, and it's so cool to see. We're getting close to the end of the game because we're seeing stuff near the end now. See, this sounds like Dai's style already, just from the first couple notes. You can already tell for the music. You know, having Ryukishi involved in a Silent Hill game is so perfect. I mean, it's just like having, you know, we almost had Guillermo del Toro working on a Silent Hill thing. That would have been really cool for his style of horror and stuff. But I am glad we got this. It really is like a perfect matchup. Something a little bit different for Silent Hill, and something a little bit different for Ryukishi compared to his other works. But still within the same realm, the perfect like Venn diagram between the two of them. And then throw in like Dai and Xaki's music along with other stuff. There's so much environmental art in this game. Ooh, this is really pretty. Ooh, this area was really cool. But we didn't really get like a good like far shot of it like this. You know, all these fox people kind of remind me of the goat butlers in Umineko, just from the way that they're standing here. See, the thing is, these environmental pictures are not in order of where we encounter them in the game. So I keep trying to predict when we're getting close to the end, and you keep seeing them out of order. We have like Rinko's section. I think this is Rinko's room. This is where we found Sakako, trapped her in the darkness. That acting during that section was so good. I felt so bad for her. Even more so than dunking Rinko into the lava. Even though it was just like leaving her in the dark. Although presumably she succumbed to something in that darkness, but we didn't see what it was. It was just so visceral. And this is the shoes room where you have to find the missing item. Oh, and then this room. Oh, this is where we encountered the booby monster for the first time. I'm so glad she didn't release too many ads at the same time. This is hard enough to kill one of those things at a time. They hatch so quickly. And you swing your weapon so slowly. Oh, we're back here at the beginning. We have the character section. The monster section. And the environment section. Oh, there's more. I was like, there's no way that's it. Okay, so the monster section was actually not that long. And the character section wasn't long either. The environment section was like a lot. Which is cool. I like environmental art. You could change the soundtrack. So we made it to number 13. Oh, there's only 2 more tracks left. We almost went through the whole soundtrack. Usually when I go over the digital soundtrack and the art book with you guys, I don't go through the entire soundtrack because it's usually too much. But we're almost there. Maybe I should just let this one finish. It would have been cool if they had like little notes for all the artwork. They had quite a few different languages too. We'll go through these last couple tracks. So Xaki and Dai each only did 1 track, but they felt very impactful. I felt like I could definitely hear their styles in it. I think this one was one of the ones that played during the credits. And there's this one. Is this one for the UFO ending? It sounds UFO-ish. What is this? This must be for the UFO ending. cool. You can favorite your favorite tracks here and then set them on loop or something like that, or make your own playlist. Even though there's not that many tracks, but still. I like how they all have different pictures on the little cassette tape. Okay, and there we have it. The digital art book and soundtrack for Silent Hill F. What a beautiful game. Beautifully haunting. Eloquently grotesque. I do look forward to seeing what they do with Silent Hill as a series moving forward. Whether it's mainline games or more like spin-off games like this. Because I think it has a lot of like interesting potential, especially in the horror market, that, you know, we see a lot of games in the horror genre that are very similar to each other, so having something that stands out aesthetically, or gameplay-wise, or story-wise, is pretty cool. But there we go. So again, I don't think I'm going to be playing through the entire game again to get the other endings. I might do it in the future, but for now, I probably won't. But I do recommend you go check out this game. Try getting the other endings yourself, or watch someone else get them. Get a little bit more context to the different endings and the symbolism and the way the story goes. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Froggy friends!